Hello, students. Today we are going to be discussing maps and its 5 major components. There are 5 major parts to a map. They are title, legend or key, compass, border, and scale. Stay tuned for the definitions and explanations of each part. A map is a symbolic representation of selected characteristics of a place, usually drawn on a flat surface, as opposed to a globe, which is round. Maps present information about the world in a simple, visual way. They teach about the world by showing sizes and shapes of countries, location of features, and distances between places. Maps can show distributions of things over the earth, such as settlement patterns. They can show exact locations of houses and streets in your neighborhood. Map makers, called cartographers, create maps for many different reasons. Vacationers use road maps to plot routes for their trips. Meteorologists, scientists who study the weather, use weather maps to prepare their forecasts. And city planners decide where to put schools and hospitals with the help of maps that show land features and how the land is currently being used. Number 1, the title of a map. The title of a map is usually the first thing a reader sees when looking at a map. It lets the reader of the map know what the map will be about, and this is usually found at the top of a map. The legend of the map is also referred to as the key of a map. This defines the features that are located on that map. This is typically done by displaying an example of a symbol found in the map, followed by a description of the phenomenon represented by that symbol. A map without a legend is difficult to interpret and often useless, and for this reason, you find maps with legends everywhere. Road maps have legends, as do bus maps, maps of malls, and even maps found in video games. Map legends or keys are necessary because maps can be cluttered with many different symbols, and without the legend, the reader may be overwhelmed by the amount of information presented. Now we move on to the scale of a map. The scale of a map allows a reader to calculate the size, height, and dimensions of the features shown on a map, as well as distances between different points. The scale on a map is the ratio between real-life sizes and how many times it has been shrunk to fit it on the map. The compass or the compass rose is a very important part of a map. It lets us know the directions. 4 main cardinal points are north, south, east, and west. Last but not least, borders. A border identifies exactly where the mapped area stops. A border is often the thickest line on the map and should be close to the edges of the mapped area. The distance between the map and the border should be the same on all sides, therefore it should be balanced. There can also be borders around the entire map layout. Both of these borders are sometimes referred to as the neat line. Follow along as I point out the 5 major components of a map. Firstly, we have the title, and the title of this map is Great Exuma. So we would know that the map is about Great Exuma. To the bottom of that, we have the compass, which tells the directions. On the side of that, we have the key or the legend. And in the box, we have numbers, and what they represent. For example, number 6 represents pituitary exoma. Down at the bottom, we have the scale. The scale measures distances and sizes. Last but not least, we have the border. As you can see, this map has a thick border on the outside. And these are the 5 major components of a map: the title, the key or legend, the compass, the scale, the border,